in this video, I'm going to teach you how to create beautiful custom headers and footers, and we'll do all of that with the free version of Elementor. Hello, I'm your host Casino from casino.com, and let me show you what we're going to build today. So as you can see here, we have the standard header from our WordPress theme, and we have the standard footer from our theme. Now, this is what we're going to build. So on the left hand side, you see the logo here. In the middle, we have custom navigation, and on the right hand side we have a call to action button. Let me make it bigger here. Now this is the standard iPad version, tablet version. So when you click on it, that's the standard from the theme, and this is what we are going to build. So when I click on the navicon, this is what we get it full screen. Next, this is the standard mobile version. So it looks neat, but I tend to prefer full screen. So this is what we're going to build. And next we'll come up with a second version for the desktop. So if I click here on the hamburger icon, I get this navigation with the overlay. And when I click, it goes back to the previous mode. And the last version is going to be this one. So when I click, I get a full screen overlay. Now it looks very minimal, and that's really on purpose because I want you to focus on the technique, and then you can style it any way you want. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is create some pages. I've already created a few pages, and once you've done that, go to Appearance, Menus, and you're going to create a menu. So I created a menu called the menu. I added 5 pages, clicked on Save. Also, I made it the primary menu, as you can see here, then clicked on Save. Next, you want to go to Appearance, Themes. And I've already installed the Astra theme. Now, if you want to follow along, you may as well install this one so you're sure it's exactly the same thing that you see on screen. Now, if you don't know how to add a new theme, just click on Add New. And all you have to do is type the name Astra here in the search box. Astra is going to appear here. Click on Install, and then the button turns to Activate, and you only have to activate it. Next, you want to install some plugins. So click on Plugins. Now, as you can see, I've already installed Elementor, but I'm just going to show you it's pretty easy. Click on Add New, and then all you need to do, actually it's right here on the page, but if it wasn't there, all you need to do is type Elementor in the search box. Then once again, click on Install, and then the button turns into Activate, and you all need to activate. Now we need to add a second plugin, and that's the plugin we're going to use to make all the magic happen. I type header, footer, and there you go. So that's the one here. It's made by Brainstorm Force, and actually it's very important because this is the company behind the Astra theme. It's a solid company. It's been there for more than 10 years. They've got millions of downloads, and they are very solid. So I feel very confident to use that plugin. Okay, so we're going to click on Install now. Okay, now the button turns to Activate. Click on Activate. Okay, so now we got all we need. Astra for the theme, then Elementor, and then the header and footer plugin. So next, you want to go to Appearance, Header and Footer blocks, as you can see here. Okay, now we're going to add new, and we're going to call it header. Then I'm going to select some options. So I want it to be a header. I want it to display on the entire website. And that's very neat because when you become more accustomed to this tool, you can actually decide where you want this to appear. You can create several headers. For the sake of this tutorial, we're going to keep it simple. Okay, so entire website, and that's about it. So I'm just going to click on Publish, and next I'm going to click on Edit with Elementor, and there we go. Now the first thing I'm going to do is to click on the navigator icon at the bottom left corner. So click on Navigator, and this is our navigator here. So next you want to click on the plus button. Then I'm going to select a structure with 3 columns. Next, I want to make sure my section is selected, so I click on the little dots here, or I can click on the section here in the navigator. Okay, so I'm going to make this full width. Next, I want the height to have a minimum height of 80 pixels. And next, for the HTML tag, I'm going to select header because that tells Google this is a header. Next, I'm going to click on Style, Background Type, Classic, and I'm going to select the white color. Next, I click on Advanced. I'm going to unlink the padding values, and it's going to be 0 on top, 30 on the right, 0 at the bottom, and 30 left. Next, I'm going to select the first column here, and I'm going to make it 15% for the width. I'm going to vertical align in the middle. Next, I'm going to click on the widgets icon here, and I'm going to select an image. So I'm just going to drag the image widget here to the first column, and then I just click on the image, and I'm going to select this logo. So next I want to align it on the left, as you can see here. Next, I'm going to add a link. So I click on custom URL here, and you should put the link of the homepage of your website. Okay, next I want to go to style, select pixels here, and I'm just going to select 120 pixels. Next, I'm going to select the second column. So with the second column selected, I'm going to give it a width of 70%, vertical align in the middle. And next, I'm going to click on the widgets icon here, and I'm going to look for menu. I'm going to type menu, and this is the one you want, navigation menu with HFB for header footer blocks from Brainstorm Force. So I'm just going to drag this in the second column. So by default, it shows the menu because I said it was the primary menu, but if you skip that step, you may have to choose your own menu. Next, you want to enable schema support because that's good for Google and search engine optimization. Next, you want to click on layout, and we want to change the layout alignment to center. Next, you want to click on style, and then in main menu, you want to click on typography, and we're going to change the weight to 500. Okay, let's update our page so we're sure that we saved our work. Next, we want to click on a third column that you can see here, or you can just select the third column here in the navigator. So I'm going to select the column. We don't need to change the width because it calculated automatically. We want to vertically align in the middle. And next, you want to click on the widgets icon, and we're going to drag a button here, and then we can start styling it. Now, for the sake of this tutorial, I've already styled mine. So it says get in touch, and it links to the get in touch page. Now, one last thing we could do with the button selected is to go to advanced, then go to motion effects, entrance animation, fade in, and we're going to add 200 milliseconds of delay. Now, I use this with caution because it can be really annoying, but it's just to show you that you can add a little subtle animation to the button. So make sure you saved your work, and then we can go to the front end. So this is what we had, and when we refresh, this is what we get. So as you can see, if I click on About Us, I go to About Us page, Services, and you see the subtle animation from the button, testimonials, get in touch, it's all working fine. Okay, now let's take care of the responsive version, because if I go into tablet mode, for example, as you can see, it doesn't look really nice with the navicon in the middle, the button here. And if I go into mobile mode, it doesn't look really good. The navigation itself is fine, but all the rest is not really good. So let's take care of that. So back in Elementor, what we're going to do, I'm going to collapse everything, and I'm going to rename the section desktop v1, and then I'm just going to duplicate the section. So I right click and click on duplicate, and I'm going to rename the first one on top. I'm going to call it minimal v1. Okay, so basically what we're going to do, the first section here, minimal v1, is going to be for the tablet and the mobile, and the second version is going to be for the desktop. Okay, for the time being, we're going to select the desktop version, then go to advanced, responsive, and we're just going to hide it everywhere just for the moment, and click on update. And also I'm going to click on the little eye here so that it doesn't get in the way while we're working on the minimal version. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is get rid of the third column. So I'm going to right click on the third column, click on delete. Next, we're going to select our navigation here, and I'm going to start styling it. So we're still using the menu. Now for the last menu item, we want to select button. So still enable schema support. Then we want to go to the layouts, and we want to click on flyout. Flyout orientation should be right. Next, we want to hamburger align to the right. And then for the menu items align, it should be center. Next, I'm going to click on the icon here, and I'm just going to type grip. So I'm going to select this one, grip lines. Next, I'm going to click on style, and where it says flyout box width, you can try to go all the way up. It goes all the way to 500, but I want more. So I'm just going to type 800. Next, flyout box padding should be 90, so 90. Horizontal padding should be 25, and the same for the vertical padding. Next, I'm going to click on typography, and then I'm going to type 30 pixels. Once I've done that, I'm going to select my color. So you can pick any color you want. I pick some blue for the text. Now for the hover, I'm going to select another one, and same for active. Now you may pick any color you want, or you may pause this video to see which colors I've used. Next, I'm going to click on menu trigger and close icon. And first of all, I'm going to select the color. So the color, I'm going to pick my main blue color. And for the hover, I'm going to pick another color. Next, for the icon size, I'm going to type 25 pixels. And for the close icon size, I'm going to type 30 pixels. Next, I click on the button tab here. I'm going to select typography and I'm going to type 20 pixels. Next, I'm going to unlink the padding values, and it's going to be 15 pixels on top, 40 right, 15 at the bottom, and 40 on the left hand side. Now you may be wondering, why did we start with the desktop version when it's supposed to be the responsive version? Well, simply because we can also use this as a second version for the desktop, but more about that in a moment. So next, we're going to take care of the tablet and mobile version, but before we do that, make sure you update the page. Okay, now we're going to take care of the tablet version, and if I go into tablet mode, as you can see, it looks pretty good actually. So if I close this and I click on it, it looks almost good because we have a problem here. We'll fix that in a moment. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is go to style. Then we're going to click on menu trigger and close icon. And we're going to change the size to 35 for the icon size. And for the close icon size, also 35 pixels. Like I said, there is a problem here with the button. And also, if you see on the top right corner, there isn't much padding here around the close icon. And as you can see here in the options, we have nothing where we can change the padding. So I tried various things, but it seems like there isn't just the option. So we are going to take care of that. So for that, you need to go back to the dashboard, then go to Appearance, Customize, click on Additional CSS, and then you can just go and grab the CSS code in the companion blog post, and you find the link in the description below. And don't be scared, all you have to do is copy and paste this. So I'm just going to click on Publish. So what this does is, first of all, we're going to put space around the close menu icon, and then we also want to align the button in the middle. So let's go back and we're going to refresh the page. But before we do that, make sure you update the page. Otherwise, everything is going to be lost. Okay, now I can refresh the page. Now let's go back into tablet mode. And if I click on the hamburger icon, you can see that there is now some padding around the close icon and the button is centered. Now we need to take care of changing the color. So let's go back into desktop mode with our menu selected. Let's go back to style button, and now we can change the text color. So text color is going to be white. The background type is already selected in my case, and you can also select a hover color. So in my case, I'm going to select this color here and just make sure the text is also white. So now let's go back into tablet mode, and when I click on it, as you can see, it's working fine. So let's save our work. And that's about it for the tablet version. Now let's move on to the mobile version. Okay, now let's take care of the mobile version. So for that, first of all, change the responsive mode to mobile. Okay, next we want to select our top section here or in the navigator. And we want to change the padding. So go to advanced. We're going to unlink the values. And it's going to be 0 on top, 10 on the right hand side, 0 at the bottom, and 20 pixels on the left hand side. Next, we want to select our first column, make it 70% of the width. And next, we want to select our second column and make it 30%. And now let's take a look, and it's looking much, much better. Okay, let's go back. And next, we want to select our menu here. So click on the edit icon, go to the style tab, and for the flyout box padding, we want to type 20 pixels. Now for the vertical padding, we want 15 pixels. And where it says menu item top spacing, we want to add 80 pixels. Next, you want to click on typography, and we're going to change the font size to 20 pixels. Next, you want to click on menu trigger and close icon. And for the icon size, you want to type 30 pixels. So we should be all set. And now we need to take care of which version shows up. So let's go back into desktop mode. And we just want to collapse everything here in the navigator. Now let's select our desktop section here, go to advanced, responsive, and we just want this to show on the desktop. So on the desktop it's going to show, and we want to hide it on the tablet and on the mobile. Next, you want to click on the minimal section. Once again, go to advanced, responsive, and we want to hide this on the desktop. So the opposite, click on update. And now if you go back to the front end, let me refresh. So it looks like nothing happened, but now if you go into tablet mode, this is what we built. And I can also go into mobile mode. And as you can see, it's looking, in my opinion, much better than the vanilla default navigation. Okay, now let's take care of version 2. And the only thing that's going to change in version 2 is the fact that the top navigation for the desktop is going to look like the tablet and the mobile. So let's go back into Elementor. And the first thing you want to do is you want to delete the desktop version. So right click and delete. Next, you want to select the minimal version, go to advanced, responsive, and you want to unhide it. So you want everything to show on the desktop, on tablet, and on mobile. So just click on update. Next, let's go back and now let's refresh the page. And there you go. We have our version 2 because we already took care of it while building version 1. So if I click on it, right now I have this navigation here with an overlay. If I click on the overlay, it closes, or I can click on the close icon here and I can just go to any page I want and it works as usual. Now, personally, I really love this type of navigation. It really depends on the target audience, but more and more people know that this is a menu because most of the people actually browse through a mobile. So that's about it for version 2. Okay, now let's take care of version 3. And the only thing that's going to change in version 3 is also for the desktop version, because right now when I click on the navigation from version 2, I have an overlay here and this is not full screen. And in my opinion, it looks quite nice, but maybe you want a full screen layout. In that case, go back to WordPress, then go to Appearance, Customize. Next, you want to click on Additional CSS and then make sure you're on a new line. And once again, all you need to do is copy and paste the code from the companion blog post, for which you find the link in the description below. So I'm just going to paste it here, click on Publish. Okay, and now if I go back, let me refresh the page. Okay, and now if I click, there you go, full screen navigation. And of course, nothing changes for the tablet version, which was already full screen. And the same thing for the smartphone version. Okay, next we want to create our footer. So for that, go to Appearance, Header, and Footer blocks. We've already created a header, but we're going to click on Add New. Let's call it Footer. Select in the option Footer, and you want to show it on the entire website. Click on Publish and click on Edit with Elementor. So first you want to click on the plus sign. We're going to select a double column section. So with our section selected, we want to change the content width to full width. Next, we want to select footer in the HTML tag. Then go to Style, Background Type, Classic, and pick any color that you want to use. Next, click on Advanced and link the padding values. And I'm going to put 10 pixels top, 30 right, 10 bottom, and 30 left. Next, you want to select the first column. I'm going to vertical align it in the middle. Next, click on the widgets icon, and I'm just going to drag an image here in the first column. Click on the image, and I'm going to select the white version of the logo. Click on Insert Media. I want to align it on the left-hand side. Then click on Style, choose Pixels, and I'm going to put 80 pixels. Next, click on the widgets icon, and I'm going to type icon list. Just drag the icon list to the second column. Select inline for the layouts. I'm going to keep just one item, open the item. So first of all, I'm going to change the name to company. Then I'm going to delete the icon. I can close this. I'm going to duplicate it. And for the second item, I'm going to call it privacy. And of course, you would link to various parts of your website. So if you have a private policy page, you can put the link here. Next, you want to click on Style. And you want to align it on the right hand side. You can see it right now, but click on right. Next, you want to click on text and you want to change the color to white. And as you can see now, we can see it here. It's white and it's on the right hand side. Next, click on typography and I'm going to type 12 pixels. Okay, let's click on update to save our work. And now if we take a look, it's looking good. Of course, it would show at the bottom of the page. So let me go back. Let me refresh. And now if I scroll all the way down, as you can see, we have our custom footer here. Now let's take care of the tablet and mobile versions. So for the tablet version, let's go into tablet mode. And all we want to do is just to make sure we put 50% for the first column and 50% for the second column, even though it does it by default, but we just want to be sure. Next, let's take care of the mobile version. For the first column, we want it to be 100%, and we want to select our image, then go to Content tab and align it in the middle. Next, let's select our second column. Once again, we want to give it 100% width. Then you want to select the icon list, click on Style, and click on Center for the alignment. Now let's update our page. And if we go back to the front end, let's refresh our page. Let's go to the bottom, and there you go. You have the logo here and the links on the right hand side. And now let's move on to the smartphone version. So let's refresh, and there you go. We have a different layout with the logo on top and with the links just below. So this is what we started with. So the regular header from the theme and the regular footer. And then we moved on to this version here, as you can see. And we went from this version for the tablet to this version. And we also went from this version on the mobile to the full screen version. And finally, we got versions 2 and 3 for the desktop. So this one, when you click on it, it's got an overlay, and when you click, it goes back to the normal state. And the third version is this one, where it's totally full screen. So as you can see, it's totally possible to create beautiful custom headers and footers with the free version of Elementor. And let's give credit where it's due. So let's also thank Brainstorm Force for this fantastic plugin. Now, if you want to learn more about web design, especially about WordPress and Elementor, make sure you hit subscribe and smash the notification bell. Now, if you want to create even more professional headers, footers, and layouts, you may like the bells and whistles that come with the Pro version of Elementor. And luckily for you, I got plenty of tutorials on the topic. So make sure you click on the video appearing on the screen right now if you got time. Otherwise, just come back to the channel. I hope it's going to help you. Take care and stay safe.